Hey, good day everyone. Welcome back to Clean Cut EDC. Today I have a very special knife with me. This is called the Pickled Steel Coffin. And we are doing a full review on the coffin today. We've done some first impressions. And let me tell you, I love this knife. I really do. Stiletto type blades are not my thing really. Or used to be not my thing. But this knife has changed my mind. I like, carrying around more of like a worn cliff or a sheep's foot blade or standard blade shape or clip point blade. That's sort of the stuff that I like carrying around. And also a thicker blade or a blade with a little bit more width to it. I like that. I like a big knife. And this knife it's slim, it's fine, its piercing abilities is just off the charts. It's delicate, has a delicate look to it. At least it's a precision type of knife, in my opinion. So usually not the thing I go for, but this knife has just grabbed my attention from the start, and I just had to have it. I needed this knife in my life. This is a fantastic looking knife. It's beautiful. We have a stonewash, a black stonewash on the blade, and it sort of has these cutouts, which adds to a like Victorian, not Victorian, Middle Age type of, is it Middle Ages? Yeah, the Middle Ages type of vibe. Sort of soldiers, with swords, that sort of thing, a dagger. That's very cool. Its name, coffin, came from its look in a closed position. So that is a coffin, or it looks like a coffin at least. Very creative. Don't know how they came up with that name, but that is exactly what it looks like. So very accurate. Definitely gonna know, which knife you're talking about when you call it a coffin, and that's for sure. Okay, the action on this guy. Now, let me start off with what the design was intended for. The design was actually intended as an self-defense knife. So there's two main reasons why or how they did it that way. So first is with the stiletto type blade, you have a very great piercing ability on the knife. Fantastic, passing through clothing, passing through skin and bone and stuff. It's great for that. I know it seems a bit gruesome, but yeah. And then secondly, the scales actually taper down towards the tip, so you can use this for striking. This will do some incredible damage. Fantastic way they've done this. Actually, many self-defense knives, have that aspect with regards to their scales. They would taper it down so you can use the butt of the knife for striking. That's great. So definitely gonna be a good knife as a self-defense option. I think so. I like that. That's cool. I don't necessarily use my knife for self-defense, but it's always good to have a multifunctional blade, right? Because we always say we're not going to use our knives for self-defense, but if it happens, then it happens, and I'm definitely going to reach for my knife, that's for sure, if I need to, protect myself, protect my people, I will do that. But in South Africa, yeah, you will have to think twice before you do that, because the criminals will probably, they can kill you, stab you, steal all your stuff, and nothing will happen to them. But, as for you, man, you pull a knife on someone attacking you and you use it, yeah, good luck to you, because it's going to be a lot of court cases coming your way. Yeah, so definitely not going to be my first choice using my knife, but if I need to, I will. And I will like to use this one if I'm going to use one, right? This is fantastic, man. Yo, large knife. Very, very, very large knife. A lot bigger than I actually imagined it. This is a large Tanto honey badger. Let me just stack it up against one another. It's about a centimeter, yeah, about a centimeter longer than the large Tanto honey badger. And if you know the large Tanto honey badger, this is quite a large knife, right? It's a big boy. So this is great, man. Just added reach. You can get a full 4-finger grip back here. So if you need added reach, that's great. And I guess it's part of the design, because even when deployed, now you still have this part sticking out, which is part of the defense mechanism of this knife, or the defensive aspect regarding this knife, self-defensive aspect. So it needs to extend past your hand for you to use it effectively. And that's very cool. Action, lightning fast, buttery smooth action on this guy. And you have multiple deployment options. You have your standard flipper tab, comes flying out We have jumping on the flipper tab, so you don't miss that flipper tab ever. And you can actually deploy it with a finger flick also, using your guard, right? This is like a blade guard for your hand to not slide up. And you can use that as a front flipper type action, which is cool, and it works great. And sorry, that's me. Works great. You can use a lighter opening. Lighter flick is what I'm calling it. I don't know. It works cool. Like the way you would light the lighter. That's awesome, man. Fantastic action. Runs on ball bearings, and yeah, good size stopping pin. Not the biggest stopping pin in the world, but it's a fair size. It's nice. Love the look of this knife. It is gentleman carry, lightweight but solid. Let's check the weight on this guy. Right, there we go. It's gotta be less than 80. It's 77 grams. Guys, that is a fantastic EDC experience right there. If you consider something like this knife, right? The Cam Plus from Ontario. 76 grams. It's basically the same weight, but you get a lot more blade. So even as a backup knife, if you're not going to use this as your primary EDC, as a backup knife, it's not going to take up a lot of space in the pocket. It is a little bit large on the length side, but it's light. It will disappear in your pocket, and it does in mine. So I mean, you get about 3 centimeters more on the blade there. You have Micarta, which is heavier than FRN. Stainless steel polished liners on this guy. Looks beautiful. Like the way it frames the Micarta. That just looks great, man. Yeah, that's beautiful. Love it. The liners are actually skeletonized, but only on the one side. So they do cut the weight a little bit there. Let me go see. There we go. So just a little bit skeletonized, not a lot. No flex, which is weird because it only has this spacer here at the back. So it's an incredibly solid knife. It has maybe a little bit of flex, but I really need to push hard. Love the flow through construction. Easy to keep clean. It's great. Looks very slick. Very, very nice. Now, this knife actually, as you guys can see, it doesn't have a dual edge. So it's not sharpened on both sides. And that is with reason. Because if you're anything like me, you have knives on a rotation. So you will, let's say for instance, you will carry your honey badger on Mondays. And, this is the way I close my knife. Even if it can drop shut by itself, I always give it a little bit of a nudge just to pass that detent area. And then I would close it or let it close by itself. The Freya doesn't really allow you that because the action is too great. But I still nick it just sometimes with my finger. And that's the way I close my knives, or I'm used to closing my knives that way. So you've been fidgeting with your knives all week. Here comes Wednesday, and you pull out your coffin with a dual-edged blade. You're also going to want to nick it, right? And when you do that, you're definitely going to cut yourself. So they decided to not sharpen one of the edges because people they're not used to stilettos often, And that definitely applies to me. I know for a fact I would have cut myself probably like 100 times with this knife if it had a dual edge. Maybe I would sharpen. You can sharpen this by yourself if you would like. I would maybe sharpen it up to there for myself. And then have a dual edge from there upwards. But I don't know what that's going to look like. This is cool. It will function great. Piercing ability, fantastic. The tip is strengthened with this little structured bevel here. That's great, man. Oh, I love the black look on this knife. More stonewashy black than DLC, and that's what I like, as you guys have seen maybe in the Berserker video. Pocket clip. Now this is crazy. Okay, remember now this knife is, what's it, like 700 Rand? Great price for this knife. Sunken pocket clip, sunken screws, body screws, T6, T8 pivot. Sunken pocket clip, mushroom screws, button screws so it won't tear up your clothing. But what is nice for me about this pocket clip is it is the perfect balance between stiff and loose. So it's not so stiff that you struggle getting it out of your pocket and putting it back in, which can be extraordinarily annoying on some pocket clips. But it's not so loose that you will have to worry about it falling out. My Leatherman side clip pocket clip now, this thing is it's too loose. So I constantly worry when I carry this, which is not often anymore. I constantly worry that I'm going to lose it. And I know that one day I probably will lose it because that pocket clip isn't stiff enough. But it's so comfortable putting this thing over clothing. Same as with this, very comfortable going over your clothing, but not so stiff that you, yeah, very comfortable going over the clothing, but not so loose that you have to worry about it falling out. Fantastic, man. Oh, just love this knife. The micarta is great. It's got that classic denim micarta, which is very desirable. One of maybe the best reasons why the Penguin did so well is because of this denim style micarta, which is highly sought after. And from the photos, I couldn't tell that this actually, was the denim style. I thought it was more black, laminated sort of micarta. This is grippy, it's fluffy, it's like a canvas style micarta. I love it, man. It's so cool. Beautiful denim jean micarta. Fantastic. Yeah. Awesome stuff, guys. I really would recommend this knife. Even if you're not into stilettos, this thing is good value for money. It really is. Strong D2 blade, great micarta, right? Really fantastic micarta. In my top 3 maybe micartas that I felt on a knife. Great access to the liner lock, decompression is smooth, fantastic action. You have the ability to use it for self-defense if you need to. Great deployment methods. It just has everything going for it. Gentleman carry, lightweight. It's an EDC freaking champion, man. So guys, pick up a pickled steel coffin and have a knife day. And remember that no knife means no life.